everyone. So I wanted to show you guys my Thanksgiving holiday car that I was driving while I was here, and it's a really special car. I've drove it several times when I come into town, and it's one of my favorite cars to drive while I'm here. It is the 1993 Porsche 968. 236 horsepower. This car is really fun to drive. And the transmission, which is a 6-speed gearbox, is mounted on the rear of the transaxle. Gives it perfect weight distribution and really fun to drive in the corners. So this is one of the reasons that a lot of people choose this car, not particularly this model, but the 944 in general for their track car. This is basically a 944. If you look closely, you'll see those are 944 doors. The front looks like a 928. It looks like they had a lot of leftover parts and they just kind of threw them on together. But the results are quite nice. It has a nice rear end, nice front end, and you know that's what I like. So it still sits very good. He bought this car as his college graduation to himself, and he still has it. And he almost never drives it. It has 65,000 kilometers on it right now, which is, I'm sorry, miles, which is about 100,000 kilometers. And it's still in exceptional condition. It's not the most maintained car, but it's still been sitting in the garage. It's always been inside. So it's a nice example of the 968. And this is Wimbledon green, which I'm told is a very rare color. People stop me while I'm driving it, and so it's quite a unique car, and I don't think I've ever seen one that color. So here it still sits. He bought this for his college graduation, present to himself, and not only does he have this car, but he also has this car, which is a 1989 Chrysler Conquest TSI. This is also a turbocharged rear-wheel drive car. Just like the Mitsubishi Starion, we had actually both of them in the US. We had the Chrysler version, which was basically rebadged as just Chrysler, and we also had the Mitsubishi Starion. Why they decided to do that, I'm not too sure, but also another car that I used to ride in high school that was such a cool, iconic car for those days, especially when turbocharged cars were coming out. So I think we have to save this for another episode. It's looking quite sad right now. Something has happened to the mirror, but I actually did get this running a couple years ago. So I feel pretty confident it will start back up, and it won't take too much to get it going other than a lot of George's money. So 2 iconic cars I thought I would show you, owned by the same dude, and he still has both of them for all these years. So what's up, everybody? Here we are, Porsche 968. We're in the cockpit. You may notice that it looks like a 944 because, well, let's be honest, it is a 944. So let's give it a crank up. Go for a little spin. Bit of traffic out right now. It's about noontime, so now the first thing I could say is that this has the 3-liter 4-cylinder, so it has a lot of power. It's like a big block 4-cylinder. I don't know how big the displacement to make the pistons is, but they must be huge in there. So it has lots of torque, lots of power, and it has a 6-speed gearbox. So this was like Porsche's tribute to the 944, to the last of them made. So it basically is the 944 chassis. It has like a 928 looking front end, and there's a reason that people race these cars. They are the weight to power distribution, and the weight distribution in the car itself is just amazing. And it really drives drives kind of like a 911 when you apply the power in the corner. It basically squats down and sits because the transmission is basically sitting over the rear axle, which kind of makes, you know, the whole 944 clan, this is what makes it popular, is about the best way I can put it. Some people will debate that this is their favorite one of the series, but a lot of people will also debate that the 944 Turbo is the best of the 944 chassis ever made. I particularly like the 944 Turbo, and this it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, I've driven this car a lot, whereas if I was to pick one out and try to find one of these, I'd probably find a hardtop, because I think the chassis probably has a lot less flex. But this is a really fun car to have. That's the reason George bought it. He wanted to drop the top, go cruise around with it, and you know, you can still do that today. It's only got 65,000 miles on it, but it you know, it needs some updates and probably the timing belt change, so we won't romp on it too hard here, but we'll kick it and see how the power lays down. And you know, it's just a badass fun car to drive. It almost never gets driven. It's a kind of like a Sunday driver for George. I think that's one Sunday a year, but we'll leave some gas in it and hopefully he'll go for a little cruise in it, keep her rolling, so I don't have to revive her every time I come into town. But I love driving this car. It's a really unique color. I think it's called Wimbledon green, and it kind of gives me that throwback to the 80s feeling, you know. And I mean, it still lays down the power. It is fun to jump out in traffic. I mean, it's still very powerful for a four-cylinder, and it just gives you everything that you would want from a Porsche. So that's my spin on it. Maybe we can do a little throwback to the 90s Miami Vice style or something. Let's see. And now let's see what it's like with the top down. Top open, 65 degrees in the wintertime. I mean, kind of beats the snow where I'm from. So I thought we'd drop the top and see what it looks like. It's nice looking. It's a nice day. Hey, I got a t-shirt on in the middle of you know, December. What can I say? It's nice to have good friends, and it's a beautiful day to have a convertible. And if you don't have one, then you should borrow one from somebody that you know on a day like this. That big and bright thing shining off my glasses is the sun. It's the reason that I came, among many other things. But I just thought I would show you how, you know, kind of how the acoustics are with it down. I mean, I'm not using a microphone or anything, so I hope to God you can hear this quite well. If not, you probably will never see this video. So, enjoy, and let's do the throwback to the 80s now. You ready? All right, here we go.
How much time we got? 25 minutes.